Midoriya's hair. Why did he get a perm? I don't understand. Not navel laser? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another episode of My Hero Academia. This episode is called Villain. So we had a really sad episode in the last one. We lost Star and Stripe just like that. A lot of mixed feelings about whether or not it was a good idea to have her go out like that, or if she should have been brought in at all considering her arc. But as many people I saw who were reacting to this said that, you know, if she had stuck around, it really would have signaled the end of the season a lot sooner, right? Because if All For One had gotten her power, we all know it would have been done, and otherwise that's all For One would be focused on, was getting her. So I kind of get why she didn't stick around, but it doesn't change the fact that it kind of sucks that we lost her so soon, and so that's a blow. But we see that it really did motivate Class 1A, because now they know they've got 1 week apparently before the takeover of Shigaraki's body will be complete. That's one thing that she was able to buy them with her death, was stalling that body takeover process. But I have no doubt that All For One has probably still got some backup plans in motion, because he's not the kind of guy to sit around on his laurels. And also, we still haven't seen what's been going on with Toya, if he's still out there somewhere. We know that he's still got his plans where his dad's concerned too. So yeah, I feel like this is not going to be an uneventful week by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, this episode is called Villain. Not sure which one we're talking about, but I'm ready to jump in and find out. So let's do that. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be notified of when I do uploads of this show or anything else you might be watching of mine, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you are in the know. And please do continue to give those comments and interactions. I appreciate it so very much. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Very boss way to go. We appreciate you, sis. Oh, the flutterbys. Oh, back in this hole. Literal hellhole. Deserved. Deserved. Ew. Well, hurry up with it if you're gonna. Horrible. The way I went with, like, don't touch me. Thank God. Yeah, that is unfortunately the other side of that coin. He didn't get it, but she's also would have been a huge blow. Oh, really? There really is no difference, except for the fact that, you know, he's got a face. Didn't I say that there was no way that he didn't have a backup plan? There is, but there's only one Midoriya. Damn, he said you lonely, son. But that's by choice. Toya, I mean, he had a rough childhood, but this crazy is definitely his decision. Black Abyss. I keep forgetting about Sugar Rush. Like, how do you even keep enough sugar around to be useful? Nice. I love this. I love the combined attacks. That makes so much sense. Do you? Oh, right. I forgot about the sweat. Nice. Good work, Kachan. Makes sense. It's Midoriya's hair. Why did he get a perm? I don't understand. Good job. Exactly. Or just chill him out to the point where he can't use his anymore. What would you have done if Midoriya hadn't told you to start accepting both sides of yourself, huh? Exactly. He little bitch. Oh my God, now I'm never gonna stop seeing that visual. I mean, I'm glad y'all are being realistic. Yep, it is definitely up to them. I know, he's like, was that supposed to be a pep talk? Okay, seriously. This hair.
早速僕も捜索に僕たちだろ
Oh, they say touchy in Japanese too? Yeah, it's a group thing now, Midoriya. You ain't doing nothing solo no more, not if they can help you.
詰めても追い詰めてもオール・フォー・ワンは笑ってんのな
He's crazy. I mean, there's just a joy in being crazy, though, because you get to be super delusional.
林間学校の時も場所を秘密にしてたのにまさか
Not naval laser?
そんな嘘でしょ
It is, clearly.
幸せをつかんでほしかった
By trying to get him...
優雅はみんな
Okay.
みんなと一緒に夢を追えるようにただそれだけを願って
What happened?
が分かっていたならしなかった絶対に
I need more...
個性をもらうなんて
でも私たちは
Oh.
オール・フォー・ワンから逃げられないのよ
You can. So he was quirkless too. Maybe that's why his naval laser makes him so sick.
許してちょうだい
No.
ママとママを守りたくて
They need to protect themselves, sir. Like, they made this deal with the devil, not you. Respectfully. Help how? What do you want him to do? Did he hear everything?
何の話かしら何かとんでもない聞き間違いでも
Yeah, that's why he's crying his face off, huh? Because it's a mistake. Yeah.
みんなが必死に手を差し伸べる中でオールマイトから授かった
And then that's when you realize you two were the same and that your parents didn't have to take this path.
青山くんだけ浮かない顔のままだったから
Ah.
何かあるのかと思って
Midoriya, be observant. He cares about you, bro. Despite
僕が手引きした緑谷くん
so many lives.
クズのヴィランだ
Are you? Or did your parents put you in a completely impossible position? They're the villains.
正しく使い捨ての道具でしかない。
Sadly.
ママもパパも僕の無個性にひどく狼狽していた
Understandable.
何不自由なく大切に育てられてきたから
So they were spoiled.
だからきっと藁にもすがる思いで
Why is there just an x-ray of his foot? It's kind of random.
個性を自由に与えてくれる存在その噂をたどったんだ
Freely? You should have right there known it was a scam.
体質と合わず大変だったけど同調心理から始まった僕の夢はいつかママンとパパンが僕にしてくれたように
合宿先を教えなさい。
みんなのために自分を
故に戻った
Oh
緑
my
谷
goodness. Poor kid. That's a lot. That is a lot for him to carry. So much for him to carry. His parents are evil.
メロン青い絶望したんだデビル
光を屈折させる性質がある
Mm-hmm.
日本中がおかしく
We get to finally see what she looks like?
何考えて教室にいたの
Cool! Okay, you know, I think he already feels guilty, though. I really think he already feels guilty. We don't need to pile on.
これ以上人を傷つけないようにしてくれたんだこんなのもう
Yeah, the secret's out, bro. There's nothing you can do anymore. Just face up. And at least Midoriya understands. He's not angry. Just sad, a little disappointed, but not angry, which might be worse.
ナイツじゃまさか生徒だったとは
It's the best type of plant.
見つけてなかったら何するつもりだったんだ
Continued. Probably.
嘘だって言えよ
Guys.
騙されてたんだよな
No, he wasn't. But y'all have to realize the position he was being put in.
オール・フォー・ワンについて知っていることを洗いざらい喋ってもらう。
知ってることは何も
I agree. They probably don't. They probably just get told. Exactly. All for One's not dumb. He knew that they're going to get caught at one point.
言われた通りにしてどうなるか優雅は知らなかった
Exactly. So folks need to understand why he did this.
私たちだ
Thank you. You are the ones at fault.
考えて教室にいたの
He felt sick, clearly.
仲間の顔して笑い合った笑い合えてしまった
Yeah, something wrong with you enjoying yourself.
絶望した自分に絶望したんだ少年が
You're not rotten. You were put in an impossible position. A villain wouldn't have cared.
合宿でかっちゃんと徳闇君を助けようとしたんだよ。
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
辛いことと向き合ってるだけじゃきっときらめけないのさ。
違うだろ。
Mm-hmm.
僕が気づけなかった。
I mean, how would you have possibly known what that SOS was for?
泣いているのは
Mm-hmm.
オールフォー
Snot and everything.
罪を犯したら一生ヴィランだなんてことはない。
You better tell those bars.
この手を握ってくれ。
Exactly. Well, he's tied up, so
君はまだヒーロー
you
になれ
absolutely
るんだから
can. Can't change the past, but every step you take now, this is up to you.
オールフォーワンに加担した罪
Yeah, I know, but let's not crush his hope here.
まだナガンのような仕掛けがないと言い
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
これ以上彼に喋ら
I don't think he should go to the hospital, though. That's exactly... Okay.
オールフォーワンは見つからない。それが今の味方でしょ。
Mm-hmm.
死柄木たちの動きを誘導できるように。
そっか。味方を変えれば
Mm-hmm.
オールフォーワンを欺くことができるかもしれない。
Could he? I feel like All For One's a little smarter than that.
君はまだ
Right? I mean, you've already been doing some shady stuff. Maybe it's time for you to work for the other side now. Dangerous as hell, but I mean, anything at this point is an improvement, no? Oh, let's see.
光をもたらす。
Heart died of darkness, there can still be light.
みんながヒーローになるまでの物語。
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, guys, that was a good episode. We finally have some answers for some stuff that has been going on for a few seasons. I'm not gonna lie, I really never thought about the fact that there could be a leak, but it makes sense. With all that we've seen over the seasons, we know that All For One is a planner. Like, he's not someone who acts rashly. He definitely has a lot of forethought, and especially since One For All almost took him out, you know, all those years ago, he's had a lot of time to just sit and plan and think and plot. And I don't think any of the heroes have really been taking into account that this man has had nothing to do with think for a very long time. But anyhow, we see that in his side of things and All For One's side of things, he is basically, like you said, Shigaraki is messed up right now, bad. Like, even his decay is out of control. And yeah, he's a mess. With the predictions that they have back at UA are correct, he's not even able to move right now, and that's probably going to be the case for a minute. But we see that All For One is not at all deterred. He's like, yeah, okay, this sucks, but what did he say? It just isn't happening in the order I would have liked, but it's fine. He's like, I want to take over the body right away. That's not going to happen. Don't worry. There's other things that we can work on. However, I thought maybe he would dispatch Toya, because Toya would be a hell of a distraction in the meantime. But he said, no, I need you to hold off. And Toya does not like this. We see he's tormented by the fact that his dad is hale and healthy. But anyways, All For One is saying, no, that's not what I want right now. So he's got other plans in place. And he explained, just like I was saying last episode and at the beginning of this one, All For One is not the kind of guy that only has one way of doing things. The diagram is a great illustration of how he works, how he thinks. He's like, I've got plans within plans within plans, and then backup plans for all of those. So yeah, I don't expect things to go my way. I didn't end up looking like he didn't end up looking like a nutsack because he was because things went according to plan, right? Like, it's very clear that things go sideways and you need to be able to make alternate plans. And so that is what he's done. And like he said, this didn't maybe go the way that he wanted, but there are other things he can do, other methods, other strings he can pull that he's been putting in place for a very long time. So that's why he's like, for now, he knows the vital information he needs to know is already there. He knows exactly where Midoriya is. He knows where All Might is, although All Might's not a problem for him anymore. And that's really all he needs to know, right? Because all he wants, now that he can't get the quirk that he wanted, it's back to the original plan, which is to get One For All, right? Which is Midoriya. So now that he knows where Midoriya is, that's all he needs. So not sure exactly which steps he's planning to take next, but I think that's something, as we see, All For One is smart enough not to blab his plans to people. It's very smart on his part to keep very little information and only disseminate what's necessary to the people who need to know it when they need to know it, so that if they do get caught, he doesn't have to worry about everything being blabbed out. So anyway, that was what's going on in his part of the camp. We see with the kids, they're training like crazy. They're doing really well. I love seeing all the different level ups. You know, Bakugo's just going nuts with his sweat explosions and all kinds of good stuff. And we need it, right? It's not even so much, whether or not they're going to be able to take out All For One, because we all know that that's going to have to be Midoriya. Like, no one else is going to have the power to do that. But he's going to have all of his minions as distractions, and this is where all of Class A, 1A leveling up is going to be absolutely necessary. So it's great to see the evolution of their powers and how well that's going. And then we see that there was a traitor in their midst, and that it was Mr. Naval Laser all this time. And it's sad, because and I have to say, even as a viewer, it's a really good red herring because I never would have thought that he was that kind of person. And not because I don't think he was capable, because he definitely had this sniveling capability, but more so that he came off as a very vain, pompous airhead when we were first introduced to him, and he kind of is. So I just never thought that there would be more to it than that, but it makes sense. I think that the fact that he was that person is why he was such a perfect plant for this, because again, no one really assumed or expected more of what they thought was a fairly vapid person. And hearing the whole story, his parents making a deal with the devil, not realizing he was the devil at the time, thinking they were doing what was best for their child, and then being, roped into a contract that's quite literally in blood and that they can't get away from. It's sad, clearly his parents didn't do this with the air of thinking, oh, we want to hurt our child or put him into any kind of crazy situation. But you understand why the parents did what they did. And even in the episode, I kept saying they were the real villains, and they still are, because they were adults, right? They were grown people. They, instead of what they should have done, like Midoriya's mother, is accepted their child for what he was, which was a quirkless person. It's not the end of the world. Midoriya's mom never loved him less, treated him less, ever said that he couldn't be or do what he wanted to do just because he was different. She accepted and loved him. He put that pressure on himself because, unfortunately, as much as a parent tries, you can't keep your kid shielded from the worldview. But in the end, she did everything she was supposed to do as a parent, right? She loved him as is and did her best to try to get him to love himself as is. But that's not what what's his name? What's his real name? Kuga is what they were calling him. That's not what Kuga's parents, Ayoma, sorry. Yeah, Ayoma's parents didn't make the same choice, unfortunately. They wanted, and again, that's probably because they were rich and powerful and, in a different echelon of people. They couldn't live with that. They thought it was going to be too hard. They said it's too hard on him, but honestly, they were more worried about themselves. Like, that's the truth of it. They didn't want to live with the embarrassment of having a quirkless child. So that made them desperate. They should have known that there's no such thing as a free lunch. No one's just going to give quirks away in this world without a hefty price tag. But anyway, they did what they did out of their own form of desperation. And unfortunately, the sins of the father fell upon the son. And he was put in this impossible position, which again, if he was actually an arrogant, pompous ass that didn't like anybody, he probably would have been okay with it, but can't spend as much time as these kids do together and not eventually start to bond with them, get to know them, build friendships. And that's exactly what he did. And that's why it got harder and harder and harder for him to do what he was doing, because he did care about these people. And again, being around someone like Midoriya or even Todoroki and even Bakugo in his own crazy way, like these are all people that are very inspiring because they are so selfless and kind and they really do care about people. So you can't be around that type of influence and not have it affect you. And we see that unfortunately it was killing him slowly with that guilt. And so now that it's all out, as sad and hurtful as it is to have all of his classmates now know the truth, it's probably also a huge weight off his shoulders that he doesn't have to keep lying and pretending like this, knowing the cost that it's gonna be for his friends as well as what's going on for him emotionally and mentally. So anyway, love it. Love that we see Midoriya be Midoriya. Like he of course understood that this kid's not bad. He's not evil. Is he disappointed? Probably, but he's not angry, right? You see the other ones, you were kind of yelling at him like, what were you thinking? How could you smile with us? Blah, blah, blah. Understandable sentiments, but I like that Midoriya recognized right away that this was not something he was doing because he enjoyed it. It was something that he had to do because he thought it was the only way to protect his parents and himself. So anyway, the real villain, of course, as usual, is All For One. But in this particular situation, it's definitely Ayoma's parents that carry a heavier burden. They forced this on their son. They could have tried to figure out a way around it if they really cared about him, but I shouldn't say really cared about him. They could have been more creative. Let's put it that way. But either way, we all see what happens. So it's all out in the open now. And now they're saying that they're going to try to take them to the hospital, get them checked out, because we found out from last season that one, what was her name? Narant, that she had a internal bomb quite literally rigged for in case she ever went against One For All. And since All For One gave Ayoma his quirk, it's very possible he put in a surprise like he did with Nagran. But I don't think it's going to be the same though, because I don't think he was thinking about punishing the kid like that, if that makes sense. I don't know, but we're not going to put anything past that guy. So anyways, they're going to take him off to get examined, although I feel like that's dangerous to take him out of UA at this point. But I do understand what they're saying. If he is rigged to blow, you don't want to have him there with all the civilians and the students. So he's going off. Midoriya is quite sad about that because he wanted him to stay and fight with them. But He was saying, though, that this actually is a golden opportunity because at this point, All for One does not know that he's been compromised. So they're saying we could potentially use him as a double agent. Like maybe we could get him to give us valuable information since we've never been able to find this guy, no matter how hard we've tried. Maybe he could work for our advantage as a double agent. So he presented the idea. We don't know whether or not they're going to take it. And I do have a little bit of concern over whether or not All for One will believe it. Because my guy, you know, Ioma's a lot of things, but confident, cool. I mean, actually, no, let me take that back. He did manage to pretend pretty well with those students for quite a while, but they are students. They are young people. I don't know that he'll be able to pull that off with All for One. And who knows if All for One's got some kind of quirk to be able to see whether or not he's lying, for all we know. But at this point, they got to try everything. And I do think that Ioma definitely owes them he owes them to at least try after all that has been lost because of his hand in all of this. As much as it wasn't something he wanted to do, he still did choose to do it. And this is one of the consequences. So hopefully he will be down. And if he is down, he'll be able to pull off something and help our guys out to at least get some ground on some of these plans that All for One is making. Because yeah, at this point, it is still very much his game to win. So yeah, great episode. Really like that a lot. We all know this all out war is coming. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a level up arc, a few more slow episodes, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty, which is probably going to be painful. So I'm thankful for the reprieve for now. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next episode.